Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Iyanna.
Welcome to Fill in the Blank podcast.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fill in the Blank podcast. Hi, Iyanna.
Hi, Kayla.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fan-fucking-tabulous, Kayla. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
I feel like
I'm feeling good. Dunno.
All right.
Dunno.
Okay. Okay.
And cue scene.
I feel like we're on a high right now.
We are, man.
Things have been going great for this podcast.
Amazing.
And it's exciting.
Amazing for this podcast.
Let's talk about how, what was this, 2 weeks ago? How we went from 6K to 22 or 24K.
We're at like probably at this point like 25.
And it all came from that reel. From that one
little reel.
But we talk about this, how like that moment for us, in our minds, it didn't feel that big because we have conversations like that
constantly.
Often, like very vulnerable conversations like that.
Yeah.
This one happened to be caught on camera.
Yeah.
And to see it blow up like that, I was in shock.
Man, I just wasn't expecting it because I feel like I didn't understand how big that moment was until so many people felt like it was so big.
For me, it was like, I guess I always had the assumption that people communicate like that in their friendships or in their relationships all the time.
And they don't.
And then I realized like, oh, some people really don't have conversations like that.
Yeah.
Which
so
makes me
crazy.
sad.
That makes me sad. And then I also am just very appreciative because I know I came from a place within certain friendships where I didn't have that. And I remember what that felt like to not be able to have healthy conversations, like the kind of conversation that was caught on camera with us. And so being able to have that in not just like, this is representative of what a lot of my friendships look like now.
Yeah, same.
And I'm just very appreciative and grateful.
Don't you just love that?
Man. So I think it's time we bring back, I don't think we've really done it for a while. So feelings forecast.
It is sunshiny.
Sunshine.
There's rainbows and unicorns.
Man. Because there's been a lot of great stuff happening. Like
seriously,
the podcast, everything got finalized with the divorce.
I have never had so many. And I won't say the divorce finalizing was necessarily a positive thing, but in a way it was, because like a chapter is closing and I can move forward.
Yes.
But like I've never had so many positive things ever in my entire life happen back to back like this.
Just wait, y'all. We about to get into it. This month has been wild.
Been wild.
Well, November was wild for us.
Yeah.
Just amazing. But yeah, so, okay.
What about you?
Okay. I feel like is a feeling Hannah Montana?
Bruh, now you get to see how I've been feeling.
I will continue to say that because I really be at work feeling like, but school's cool because nobody knows. Like they really don't be knowing. And I'll be looking around at them people. I'm like, y'all don't know me. Like y'all don't know what I be doing.
That's how I used to feel at work. Or even just walking down the street.
Yes. It just like, it hits different. Like I feel like I need to listen to that on the way to work every day. But it's just, it's really great. Like I have been feeling definitely sunshines everywhere, like multiple sunshines.
Yeah.
I think that I just have a little bit of a cloud because I'm seeing this peak of like what life can be like,
and you're still
I'm just ready to leave my old life behind. I'm like, let's go here. This is let's go here. So it's been good though.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm happy that we are both in a positive space.
I agree. I agree. I think I've growing up, I've had like hope, but hope felt differently than it does now. Like hope then felt like I just hope something good happens.
Yeah.
But this is like a hope like I know something good is going to happen.
Man.
I know good things are coming. I know that this year has been a bunch of watering and next year I'm going to see the growth of it.
Yeah. I feel like so recently, I don't know if you ever saw this sermon series with Pastor Mike Todd, but he did a sermon series on crazier faith.
Yeah.
And one of the like sermons that he did was about bamboo season. I was just watching this and it was just so on point. I was listening to it like the other day before I went to work because I remember watching it when I was like in the darkest space of my life. And I felt like, dang, I'm sowing all of these seeds and nothing is coming of it.
And now you're seeing the
and
fruit, girl.
I remember him talking about like a woman prophesied over him and told him that he was about to have a bamboo season. He's like, what does that even mean? Like, what are you talking about, lady? And it talks about how like the bamboo like grows, it's underground for I think 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And then in a year, it's just like unusual growth. Like it just takes off and grows to the sky. And so watching it now, I remember watching it then and I just got something completely different because I was like, this, like, even though I heard this message a year ago and it didn't, like, I was like, man, I hope that that's me. Like watching it now, how it lined up and the fact that like, I feel like I had been under the surface for literally the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And for this year, for things to just be like, whoosh, I'm like, what is happening? And he was talking about like, yeah, that's how how it goes. Like it's going to be unusual acceleration. Like people are going to be so shocked at like when you sow the seed and then it just grows like crazy.
Yeah.
The reactions. And I felt that in my spirit. Like it's been mind boggling. So before we move on from feelings forecast, you had a viral moment yourself.
Oh God.
On social media.
I'm cringing.
No, don't cringe. Just talk about, like what led you to post it.
Yeah. So for those of you who actually listen to the podcast frequently, you would have already heard me talk about the fact that I do video diaries. And I often go back and I watch them to, number one, hear how I've grown, but then also see how I've been coping and how I've been processing things. And so when Jared and I did it was our court date and the judge was talking, I was recording myself the entire time. And then right after when she said that, okay, your divorce is finalized and I closed the computer is where I had that moment. And it was a very vulnerable moment. But I originally posted on my close friends on Instagram. And then I asked Kayla, like, do you think this is appropriate to share? Because I felt really pulled to share it because I've been getting DMs for a very long time, for months since I've announced the divorce, about even while I was still with Jared, like of women experiencing a relationship that's similar, or even when I announced divorce that, they're going through a breakup or they're also going through a divorce and they're wondering if what they're feeling is normal or if what they're going through is normal. And I thought about those women. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna share it. Yeah. And so I shared it to TikTok. I strategically shared it to TikTok because Instagram is a scary place.
Twitter is a very scary place.
Twitter is dark.
Yes.
And I knew it was about to get crazy when I saw it made its way to Twitter and I said, fuck.
Yeah.
And then I was scrolling and I saw it made its way to Instagram because of fucking
I know.
The Shade Room picked the damn TikTok up.
I know.
And I feel like I was naive to not think about that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking about that in the moment. I just wanted to share to be able to help people.
But that was the purpose behind it. So it doesn't matter what other crazy people come and misconstrue what the real message is. Like the whole point was for it to impact for the people who are going through the same thing as you, to be able to feel like somebody that they feel connected to can understand what it is that they're going through.
And that's why I did.
Yeah.
That's why I shared it. And I saw that it was helpful for a lot of people. And so for me, it was worth it.
Yeah.
People coming at the side of my neck. But you know what? Again, them folks can suck my big toe.
Yep. And y'all could cringe at yourselves.
That's why I'm like, it wasn't meant for them.
Yeah.
If you cringe, it dead ass wasn't meant for you.
It was not meant for you.
And that's okay. Just keep it trucking.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out, kind of being supportive, like, girl, like, you're gonna heal from this. And yeah, that's how I know some people didn't watch the full video though. I'm pretty healed. What people saw was like a buildup.
Yeah.
Because this was like a doomsday. It's
right.
like everything leading up to this one date. And so for it to be finalized, I felt this rush of emotions.
Yep.
And I mean, you guys heard me talking about me questioning my value. That was in past tense, clearly, because now I'm learning what that is. And it's not just through someone else's viewpoint of me, but it's internally, which is awesome because I've never had this before. It gives me a certain strength and just like boldness.
Yes.
But that I feel comfortable to be me and just knowing that like whatever I walk into, it'll work out. Yeah. The people who are supposed to be in my life are going to be in my life. And those who aren't are going to exit. Yep. And that's okay.
It's like that reel that we all shared.
What reel?
With Tyler Perry talking about people not being able to go where you're about to go. Yeah. It's that same thing.
And I think people thought I was slighting Jared, but I wasn't.
It's not. It's not a slight. And I think that anybody that can understand that has been through a breakup with someone or divorce, a breakup, the untethering of souls. Yeah. You should be able to understand or be empathetic and resonate with the place of what that feels like when you have to completely separate from another person, even if you still have love for that person, even if you wish the best for that person, it doesn't change that person wasn't right for you. Yeah. And it's still, it is such a like limbo space of being in between. Like, I want better for you, but I know that you can't provide that for me.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another side or version of duality, that two truths do exist. Yes, I love that man. I love that man. But I also know that he's not the right partner for me. Yep. And because of the fact that we were just not well suited for each other, it caused a lot of friction, and that friction caused damage. Yep. For both of us.
And for y'all to have to, like you said, like you have to release it. Yeah. You can't carry those emotions with you into the space that you're going into this new chapter of your life, you know? And part of you will carry some of it always because it's a part of who you are. You went through it. But I think that the release that you had by recording that video, and then for other people, because I mean, at the end of the day, people want their ends tied up because they were invested in the show or whatever the case may be. But it was really meant for the people who, like you said, were DMing you like, hey, I'm going through the same thing as you. Can you help me? Yeah. Like, what do I do? What are you doing? How are you healing? And for them to be able to see you so vulnerably release that, it will hopefully give them the courage to do the same with their loved ones and with whoever it is that they feel comfortable doing so with.
But you know, all I can think about right now is I really hope that like Jared feels comfortable enough to open up to the people in his life. Because that's the one thing I've always wanted for him. Like just be open. The people closest to him don't even know.
Yeah. It takes a lot of comfortability and depth within your relationships in order for you to get to that place, and within yourself.
I think
if you can't be honest with you, how do you then share it with others? You know? And I hope that he can do that as well. He has some awesome people around him. Yeah. But he has to seek to reach out to them and to share with them what it is that is burdening him. Like, he has to take that load off.
He's carrying a lot. Like, he's carrying a lot.
Yeah.
And he's never really released that. But I also realize it's not my journey to begin.
It's not your burden to hold, especially not now.
Jesus, what a life.
What a life.
But hey, man, life be lifing.
It is what it is.
Let's be like. So for people who don't know, not only did our followers grow because of that reel going viral, and people seeing that authentic moment, but we also shared that like we had that dinner with lovely Miss Vicky Logan, and that's huge for especially
that
Kayla.
Was the first.
That's what started it.
That blew my mind.
Yeah,
that was the first thing, because this is somebody that I have been like following for years now, and like I don't really get connected with a lot of social media influencers like that.
Yeah.
But I've just always liked her because of just how authentic she is, and just like she keeps it real. She seems cool. Like I just don't like the fakeness. And I know that she did not give that. And so when we went and sat down to have dinner with her, I was like, this is insane. I cannot believe it.
It's beautiful, Kayla.
Man.
So it started with that. And then
we got to go back though. Before we move forward, people might want to know, like, how did that happen?
Oh, the Vicky Logan thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you pointed out that she followed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with Vicky Logan until Kayla told me about her. And I happened to see her at an event. Wait, I thought we didn't talk about this already on the podcast?
Mm-mm.
I happened to see her at an event.
We told her.
We did tell her about
we told her why.
We are. I saw her at an event that Natalie brought me on. I wasn't supposed to be there. And when she walked in, I had a full-blown panic attack because I knew exactly who she was because of Kayla. And in my mind, I'm like, I have to get a picture with this woman. I have to. And I was just trying to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
But we had a moment because there was a guy trying to talk to me. And
get back.
I took the moment to kind of connect with her, and I looked over and she was making eye contact with me, and I mouthed the words, "Help me, help me." And when I looked over again, she was waving her hands like, come here. And I walked over there and she's like, "You good, girl?" I was like, "Yeah, girl, thank you for saving me." And we just had a connecting moment. And I took a picture with her. I sent it to Kayla.
And I flipped out. I was at home having movie night with Marcus. We were actually watching Hocus Pocus, and I paused the movie and I was like, stop. This is Victoria Logan.
Crazy.
In this picture.
Crazy.
Like, just wild. And it was just like a full circle moment seeing that you met her. And
it was
then
serendipity, man.
Man.
I wasn't supposed to be there.
Really?
I wasn't supposed to be there at that event at all. And Natalie was like, "Do you want to come to this?" And I was like, "Not really." I was like, "What is it about?" And she's like, "Shoes." And I was like, sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, I guess I was supposed to be there.
You were supposed to be there.
I was supposed to be there. But yeah, so we exchanged socials and I think phone numbers because I talked about me and you, Kayla, having a dinner with her, talking about coming on the podcast. I shot my shot and it worked.
Pew, pew.
Pew, pew.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
For real. And I'm learning that, like, I think I'm embracing now that being in this position that I've been in, it gives me some benefits.
It does.
I have more reach that I never would have had access to before. Mm-hmm. And because of this podcast, I want to use that reach because it's beneficial. The reason why we're doing this podcast is for a very specific reason, because it's part of our purpose, which we'll talk about more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it started off with that. We had dinner with her, and then I got this Patreon email, or this email from I got a DM on Instagram from a woman saying that there's a Patreon event that she's inviting me to, but immediately I saw I was in LA and it was like a week away from where we were. And I see it's a Patreon event and I automatically see it's in LA, so I'm discouraged to go. But immediately I see the poster for it, and it's Megan Ashley and B Simone. And we've talked about before about having them possibly on our podcast. And as we've talked about, I'm not a big dreamer. Kayla is the dreamer in this relationship. And we've had a meeting before where we talked about having them as podcast guests. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that's never going to happen, but okay, sure.
And the crazy part is not only did we list them, but then we also listed Vicky.
We also listed
on that
Vicky.
list as well.
Oh God. But anyways, I see them on the poster. So I'm like, let me just see if anyone else will go with me. So I shared it to the fill in the blank thing. And I asked the woman, like, is it okay if I bring my team? Because technically this is the podcast and they're my team. Yeah. And she was like, absolutely. If they're creators, then yes. I'm like, well, they create with me.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I asked everyone, and Kayla freaked out because it's last minute. Yes. Ariel, I can't remember what Ariel had going on. And then Asia, my girl Asia. I knew I could count on Asia. Asia said, I'm in. I said, say no more, bitch. Yes. And we just immediately like booked our stuff. And we freaking went to LA for one event. We're crazy because we didn't get paid for that. We didn't get exposure for that.
But I think that it was necessary for us to be represented.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy that y'all two had the opportunity to go.
Absolutely.
And I know that this is literally just the beginning. Like, we talked about it. We had a whole meeting about it. It's literally just the beginning of opportunities that will be presented to us like that. And at some point, we're all going to be able to go on these kind of events, like last minute or not.
Yeah.
But I think that this even goes into like the dynamics of our team.
Agreed.
And how we all operate and flow differently. And like, when it's good for like certain things that like, it's weird because it's like sometimes me and Ariel are synced up, but then also me and Asia are synced up, and then y'all two, and then y'all two, and then us two.
Because we all have similarities in a way. We're all connected.
Yes.
And so when certain characteristics or traits need to be pulled for a specific task, like we know who to go to for that.
Yes, 110%.
But so Asia came with me, and we didn't know if it would be worth it or not, but we got there and we immediately knew it was worth it. What I really wish you could be on this podcast right now, Asia, because it'd be really nice to talk about this with you. But when I got there, I hadn't realized that I would be the biggest face there, other than like a couple of other people who came a little bit later. I assumed because it's LA that it would be like a lot more like I don't know, star industry like. And so I got there, and immediately this girl comes up to us and she was like, they would love to meet you. And I freaked out. I was like, they want to meet me?
Like, of all people.
Of all people. And when me and Megan met each other for the first time, it was like a soul connection. She immediately just started screaming. I was like, ah! And we just ran toward each other and hugged, and we were just talking. And Asia was talking to B. Simone like she knew her all her life. And they talked about...
And that was such a moment for Asia.
Crazy. I know.
Such a moment for Asia.
Crazy. But anyways, that formed a relationship. And because of that, there will be things to come from that relationship, which is absolutely beautiful. But so while we were there, I realized, I was talking to Asia about it, that that's when my hope started to be revived.
So what shifted in you?
I saw the possibility. I saw that it was real. It wasn't just like a figment of all of y'all's imagination. Like, it was real. And I think I don't realize how other people see me, and like how big of a opportunity that I've been handed. So I thought with this podcast that everyone who was gravitating toward it was only gravitating toward it because of the show. And that for me is really discouraging, because I want people to get to know me past the show. Yeah. But then I realized when that reel went viral, there were people who didn't know either of us. Plenty of people who didn't know either of us.
And it's still moving in that type of direction, even right now.
Crazy. Megan was talking about how the reason a push for her to do this is because you realize that there's a community of people like you out there. And you see it in the comments. Other people talking about, oh, I experienced this, and people are being supportive of that person. Like, girl, I've experienced this too. Like, it's normal. And that's what I wanted with this podcast. I wanted like-minded people to find each other.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
And they've been able to do that just from us being able to be vulnerable and share our personal stories. And it's like the kind of career that a lot of people long for, to just be able to like be yourself.
Yourself.
And for that to be able to make you money.
Like, what is that?
Crazy.
I'm going to cry thinking about it. That's crazy.
I know. It's really crazy. And it's just like, I'm very happy and I feel very filled up that you got the opportunity to go out to LA because I know how badly you needed that experience.
I did.
Like, I didn't need that experience the same way you needed it.
I did. I think Asia did too. I think that's how God
definitely. I
wanted
think
it
that y'all both needed it like really badly.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember praying about it and God telling me like, it's not your time to go.
Yeah.
And like, there will be opportunities that I will present for you to experience things like that. But right now is not it for you. And it's a hard moment when you have to realize like, dang, like I want to do that, but God told me no.
Yeah.
Like, dang. But I know that like seeing how everything played out, I understand. And I know the reason why you needed that experience. And it really brought you into the space and into the mindset of where we've all been telling you of who you are.
I know. It really did give me clarity because growing up, you know, especially in the church, there's heavy talk about, is this where we lean into our, because I'm about to naturally talk about it, about in the Christian community, they talk a lot about purpose and finding your purpose. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? And at some point I stopped worrying about that. And I'm like, we're just here. We're all just here. Like, what's the point? Like, I'm sure God is like, you know, pushing some things, but I don't think anyone has like a specific purpose. But going on that trip, I got so much clarity. I remember being told a couple of times growing up, Iyanna, I feel like you're meant to help other people heal. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. And so I did psychology and I went to residential centers and I did in-home therapy and none of those things felt right.
Yeah.
But doing this,
it feels right.
It's just wild to me.
And so after all this happened, like once you all came back from LA and y'all shared with us all of the possibilities and opportunities that it will bring to our podcast, like I went back in my journal and I looked through like everything that I had wrote down literally 3 years ago.
Wow.
And God was telling me like, because I used to journal every day because I was in like the pits of it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this place. And God was saying to me, like, you're going, like the stories that you tell are going to heal people. You're meant to speak.
Yeah.
And I was just like, just imagine like being in a place where you're working in a school.
Yeah.
Making basically no money.
Yeah.
And God is telling you that you're meant to heal people through your stories and you're meant to speak and not speak like just speaking one-on-one with people, like speaking on platforms.
Yeah.
And I was just like, God, like, and I had so much faith then. And I saw through looking through my journal how it was like a roller coaster, like of me having the faith for it. Like I was super excited for it. And I was just like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then like literally just kind of like dwindling off, like not journaling as much, not talking to God as much about everything.
You get discouraged.
Because you're so discouraged and you're just like,
it's like, damn,
am I
this
crazy?
Is a long sewing season. If this is sewing season.
It's like, it's taking forever.
Yeah.
How long do I have to wait for this?
I feel that.
But it's just to see these kind of things come into fruition. It's mind blowing because then it's like the moment where you realize, no, I've been hearing from God this entire time.
Oh my God. Yes.
Which is crazy.
Yes.
Like I'm not crazy.
I genuinely believed that at some point, like, God wasn't worried about me anymore. I was like, there's no way. Especially because, like, I've never had anything so stable or, like, good in my life that I was just like, bro, no. Like, it's like, I'm just living life at this point. But I think this is the first time that I've seen myself the way that he sees me and that I see that he's had his hand on it the entire time.
The whole time.
Even. Ooh, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
Okay, wait.
Let it out.
Even when I wasn't the best daughter that I could be, even when I didn't have a relationship, even still, he had his hand in it. Even when I screwed up, he made something beautiful out of the mess that I made. Mm-hmm. And I remember, okay, now it's about to get dark. But I remember even when I was content in life that I never considered suicide, like actually doing the act of it. But I remember being so tired all the time and being like, it'd be really nice, or it won't be nice, but I'd be okay if I like went to sleep and I don't wake up because I'm tired of being tired all the time. Like there's always something to get over. But this is the first time when I realized, like, sure, life is gonna life, but look at the support that God has given you.
Man.
Look at the strength that God has given you.
Like what he's birthed out of one of the darkest things that you've been through. It's just amazing to be able to see like the entire time his hand is on it. And it's like, people say it's so much easier said than done. Like, you know, he's doing something new in you. Like he's working a good thing. Like the pain you go through is not for any reason, but like when you're going through it and you're in that dark space, like, and for me, my biggest fear has always been like failure. Yeah. I've always wanted to be successful. I've always been the person that people looked at, like Kayla's the dreamer. Like she's super ambitious. Yeah. She's going to do this and she's going to do that.
Yeah.
But I haven't always, like when I was in college, I got to do so many tangible things. And then ever since graduating, it's been
just constant working.
Empty.
Just working.
Which is my like worst fear.
Yeah.
To just work aimlessly, just to do a job, just to be there with people that you don't feel connected to. And like what I was telling Asia, it doesn't feel good. Yeah. And I was telling Asia this one morning, I was on my way to work and I was playing Gyra by Maverick City. And I was literally just bawling my eyes out. Just like thanking God for just switching everything. Because even though like we're still in the growing phase of everything that's happening, like we can now see that it's so tangible.
Yeah.
It's not something we're just talking about. Yeah. It's not something that we're just like writing down, hoping dreams come true. Like
it's not just
they're happening in real life.
Yeah.
And it's just insane. It's like wild to think that everything that you saw, like with me being such a visionary, I see so much.
Yeah.
And I don't always see it come into fruition. And it's literally happening before our eyes. Like with something we just randomly created, we talked about at a freaking bowling alley.
With people that you love.
Yes, that's the best part, to work with the people that you love, that you like genuinely love, that you know care about you. And that's why from the beginning, I'm so thankful for Ariel, because she's been the main one, like, protect this podcast at all costs. We can't let nobody in. It's us. Like, that's it. But what she did, like, she created a safe haven for us. And now I'm so thankful because, like, now that things are shifting and we're moving in an upward direction, we don't have to question, like, who's on our team.
Yeah.
We don't have to question, what are you trying to get out of this? And what are you expecting? There's no ulterior motives. Everybody genuinely wants to see us win. We're all trying to win. All of our purposes, everything that we're doing is all intertwined.
It's all aligned. It's all aligned.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just wild. I'm just so thankful. I just feel immensely blessed and like favored.
So Do you know, I used to hear so much about God's favor, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I feel it.
Don't you feel it? It's like all over us, like all over the podcast, all over everything that we're doing.
And everything.
Oh, this is the crazy thing that I forgot to share. But so my mom passed away on the 27th of November. Mm-hmm. And ever since she passed, God had been like, kind of like whispering to me that like 27 will be repurposed for you. It's going to mean something different for you. And so I always see the number 27 and I always take it as like good fortune, like something positive is happening and that my mom is with me. Mm-hmm. And so I just knew, like, I knew in my spirit that when I turned 27, that something just amazing was going to happen. And ever since, just think about it. Ever since.
There's been back to back your engagement, Kayla, the podcast blowing up, because it's not just there's beauty in us even starting the podcast, and then for it to grow is another beauty within itself.
Start so many things, but I don't normally stay consistent to see it through for it something to like grow into something bigger than me. And I knew as soon as I turned 27 that something was going to shift, and this has been a shift beyond my wildest imagination. Like, I always knew that the podcast would eventually grow, that it was going to become something that people would connect with and they could resonate with, because I know who we are. I know who we all are. So I knew that it was going to be great, but I just didn't expect it to happen this fast.
Oh, same.
And that's the part that just like shakes me to my core. Oh, we also should share before we move on what the amazing people that we've had come to our page since the clips have gone viral.
Amazing people, as in like all of our community?
Not just our community.
Oh,
the verified people.
Oh my God.
The celebrities.
Lovely. The celebrities.
Sarah Jakes Roberts reposted our video of our vulnerable moment. One of our lovely followers told us and shared that with us, and that's how we were able to find it.
Who is she, for those who don't know who she is?
Sarah Jakes Roberts is TD Jakes' daughter, and she is a preacher, and she tours and she speaks, and she has poured a lot into women specifically as well. With
so it means a lot.
Yeah, and then I think that she has a podcast as well called Women Evolve. So yeah, that was super cool to see her give us recognition. And then
lovely Miss Issa Rae liked our reel.
An old reel at that.
An old reel. Granted, it was talking about her show, but nonetheless, that woman laid eyes on our
us.
Page.
And she heard us speaking about Sweet Life.
That's crazy.
Sick.
Crazy.
Like, what? Immediately I went and I had to find that clip of her talking about it's me season. I was
because
like,
it's me season.
One of my coworkers, every time he sees me at work, he like slaps my hand. He be like, it's me season. I'm like,
yes, it is. I'm about to walk into my Hannah Montana.
Yes, into my Hannah Montana, but I'm just going to take this tour life and I'm going to leave y'all here. Okay.
I'm dead.
Okay, we got to move on to our next segment. Any last words about this, Iyanna, that you want to share?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What is one insecurity you realize you have to face to fully walk with confidence in what's being placed before you?
To share. Like, I have constantly felt the cloud of imposter syndrome over me my entire life.
Girl, that thing is thick. It's like a thick cloak.
Literally. And I know that it's because, like, as we all know, like, for those of us who are believers and whatnot, like, the devil attacks what it is that is your purpose.
Your mind first.
And it takes your mind. And like, I have just, the very thing that God has told me to do, that he told me I will be successful at if I just start. For years, he's been telling me, just start. I've written down, just start, just start, just start. And it's just been hard for me to start because I just feel like, who am I?
Girl.
Why am I qualified to speak to people? Why do people want to hear from me? Yeah. Nobody knows who I am. What is this? Yeah. Why would I be the one that is supposed to speak on platforms and share my story?
Yeah.
And so that has been the biggest insecurity. Like, I've had to like walk in my power of knowing like who God has told me that I am, and like really feel that, like really feel like I am the person that he has told me that I am.
Yes.
And that part has just been extremely difficult. But like, now I can actually see it. But I had to believe it first. Like, I had to we had to all like walk in a faith season before we actually could see it happening.
Literally.
What about you?
I mean, same. I think I was the last one to really walk into my faith season. I think you guys all knew that. But it took that weekend, honestly, and me seeing the real blow up and really seeing the support that I truly, truly have, for me to realize like, oh, like people do want to hear from us.
Yeah.
Because I used to think like, well, who the fuck am I? Like, why would anyone care about anything that I have to say or hear me talk about my past brokenness? Like, what is that? How helpful is that?
Yep.
But I've realized through this experience that there's strength in vulnerability. I used to think that was a weakness, the fact that I used to feel so deeply. But I think it's powerful that I can also communicate what I'm feeling. And I've realized that that's it's a strength. It's a superpower that some people haven't gained yet. And I think that's fine. But I'm hoping, watching us, that they learn to see what that looks like. But
because it just pays dividends just for you to do. Does. And I've always, like, my motto has always been like, if you do what you love, the money will come. Like, in every profession, in every field, there is a top dog that's making the big dollars. And if you love what you're doing enough, you're going to work hard enough to get there.
Random thought.
Yes.
Your kids are going to be amazing.
Oh, stop.
They really are, Kayla. For you to be already having these perspectives now, like your kids, you're going to have some intense creators.
Man.
Just like anything that they have interest in, they'll be in.
They're going to do it. Whatever they like, whatever they have interest in, they're going to do it.
That's crazy.
And your kids are going to be amazing too.
They're going to be smart, sarcastic little fucks. I can't wait.
But you're literally the most brave. Like, you are the most brave. Like, seeing everything that you have shared in vulnerability on such a public platform.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes it's hard because everybody doesn't get it, but like, it's not meant for everybody to get.
And that's what I've grown to understand now. That, that it's not meant for everybody. I know that the people who experience the pain that I have, those are the people that I'm meant to reach. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Everybody else can suck my big toe.
Period. Mine too. Because I got some words from them folks out there, but I'm going to say them because this is a positive episode.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a pod. Don't even get me started with them folks. But Okay, let's see. I want to ask another question. Okay, this is in such Asia words. It's hilarious though. Knowing you are walking in your purpose, how does that make you feel? And how will you challenge yourself to push through and remain obedient through the journey in trying times?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, we talked about that motivation. Like, we have to maintain it.
And we don't always have it, y'all. Like, let this be very clear.
Bruh.
Before this, like, little takeoff that we just did,
we were in a lull.
We were struggling.
We were on survival mode.
We were struggling.
We would show up and be like, all right, let's talk.
Let's talk. And it's ironic enough, here's a little fun fact for you all. That episode that we did where we pulled the We're Not Really Strangers cards, that clip went viral. That was one of the days we showed them. We said, let's just pull the cards.
Yeah, we were kind of burnt out at that point.
Yeah.
We were like, we were just tired.
We were tired.
And we were like, let's just, shoot the shit.
Yeah. But that was fun. I like doing
those
those
episodes. I love those episodes. They're fun.
But okay, how to stay obedient was the question.
Knowing you're walking in your purpose now, how does that make you feel? And how will you challenge yourself to push through and remain obedient through the journey?
It feels like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Serendipity.
Deja
vu.
Yeah, like I've been in a constant state of deja vu. And it scared me at first. But like now it's that I'm realizing it's because I'm exactly where God wants me to be at. I'm doing what he wants me to do.
What did Miss Tabitha say?
Okay. She was talking about that. And she was saying how like God shows us little pieces of our lives. And I feel that because that's how I've been feeling lately. Like
I actually believe that theory.
I do too.
Because deja vu, I feel like it's a thing. I used to have deja vu so much growing up.
Really?
And I was just like, oh, whatever. Like clearly I'm tripping. But then I had it at the event. But there's been a dry period for me. I haven't had deja vu in at least 5 years.
Maybe you were off track.
And I think I was off track.
And honestly, when you said that about you having deja vu in your childhood, it just made me immediately think like maybe like as painful as some of those moments were, it was God showing you that like this will be used for
But I always knew
later.
that like the things that I've been through weren't for me.
Yeah.
I think I was just the warrior strong enough to carry that shit.
Okay.
Hello, I'm tired.
I'd be like, God, please.
Like,
pick somebody else.
You saw the TikTok.
Get somebody else to do it. Please. I've had enough. Get somebody else to do it.
But I've always known like my struggle wasn't for me. It was for everyone else. Or everyone else. For other people, which is why I felt I was pulled to like work with teenagers who've also had like sexual assault or like unstable households and things like that's always been a passion of mine to just assist people who've gone through similar things.
Yeah.
But anyways, deja vu is real, y'all.
Yes,
I had it at the event, at that B. Simone event, and it smacked the shit out of me. I just like
I've been
and
here.
I looked at Asia. I said, "Oh my God, I just had deja vu."
Yeah,
I haven't had it in like 5
that
years.
means that we're exactly where we're supposed. And it just reminds me like how crazy it was when we looked at the pattern that time.
Oh my!
And for
God.
our bond, y'all, I don't know if we've shared this before, but our bond literally says that like we're meant to be co-workers. We're meant to do like work, life, and just.
And it said karmic links, didn't it?
Yes. So like we've known each other before. Like our souls are intertwined.
We were best friends in heaven.
Yep. Hello. Before God put us on earth, he was like, okay, friends. We was like,
I was first in line. I was like, all right, I'm gonna see you in a year.
Like, that's so crazy.
Oh God. Okay, my turn. I'm gonna answer. Walking in my purpose feels like a freaking relief now. Mm-hmm. It gives me the motivation. It feels like a push.
Yes.
I don't feel like an imposter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I am myself and I was meant to be myself.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And how will I challenge myself to push through? So this is where I'm gonna need your help because I've lost motivation pretty frequently in the past, and I will just not try something for fear of failing or for disappointing myself or for those around me. But I feel like pushing through this season will be a little bit easier because I'm quite honestly real tired of fighting God. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to go with the river.
Yep.
Because swimming upstream has exhausted the fuck out of me. I think I lost about 2 fins already.
Hello.
So,
like Nemo.
Like Nemo, for real. I got one little fin. I've been swimming in a circle this whole time. So I'm just gonna trust.
Yeah. I feel like for me to stay on course, I just have realized how important it is for me to stay in connection with God.
Yes.
And to like have conversations about God with my people. Like
it's our community.
Yeah, it's our community. And it's like being able to lean on each other in those moments. And that's why I'm just so grateful again for us to have this team, because it's unlikely that we're all off on the same day. Somebody is going to be up.
I mean, it's 4 of us.
It's 4 of us. So somebody is going to have it together. And even if the rest of us are struggling, somebody is going to be that one person to remind us, come on, y'all, we got to get this done. We got to do this. And I'm very grateful for that. And I think that is going to, I think that's why I know that this is so aligned, because God knows me and Iyanna's personality types.
This podcast would have ended by episode 2.
If we made it past getting past the setup of the podcast.
For real though.
That might have stressed us out. We might have been done there and been like, well,
we would have tried to set up and be like, do you want to just like binge watch something right now? It would have been bad.
Literally. So yeah, that's my answer.
This is the first time in my life where I've like actually chosen to use my support system. I've always done life alone. Even when I had people around me, I was doing life alone.
What do you feel like most taught you to utilize your support system?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
2 things. 1, COVID.
Okay.
Made me see the value of family.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, you.
Oh, cry again. Please stop.
No, for real though. You. I'm going to cry.
No.
Yeah. You've shown me a way to live life that I didn't know that I was capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the love and the light that I've had in my life because of you, I just feel so much more encouraged and hopeful, and I can dream again. And I didn't have that before you.
I love that for you.
Not that my friends aren't great, but like they just never pushed me to.
Mm-hmm.
Not the way that I need it to be.
Yeah.
And I think the way that you love me, it feels like a very unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And I feel so comfortable to just be myself with you.
Mm-hmm. Because I see you, like, from the very beginning of us being friends, I have always seen who you are.
And you won't let me forget it.
I literally will not let you forget, because as we've talked about, we are not the type of people to just like attach to many people like that. It's more difficult. And so I've known from the moment that I met you the kind of spirit and the kind of soul that you have. And I am familiar with what it's like to have your spirit drained and then have to replenish it. And I've been there in those spaces before. I've been in those kind of spaces before where like I lost people because I was so depleted.
Literally.
And I was a shell of myself.
Literally.
Like
that's all I've experienced, especially throughout my life, because I've lived life so alone. And there was a huge chunk of my life where I had to. Mm-hmm. But then at some point I didn't have to anymore, but I didn't know how to lean on them like at all. And I was so just used to doing things by myself. Mm-hmm. But again, meeting you just would not let me. Like, you dead ass would not let me. Mm-mm. And I think at first I found it so annoying. And then I saw the value in it. Yeah. Which is why I know I was supposed to do this podcast with you, because I wouldn't have gotten to this place. Yeah. Number one, without you, without any of you. Mm-hmm. Asia. Mm-hmm.
She said, I know you ain't just skip me.
But
she said, don't play with me.
I wouldn't have gotten. I've grown even within the last couple of months since this podcast. Yeah. And for that, number one, I'm grateful for that God's placed you guys in my life, and then number two, that you guys had the faith enough to do this with us. Mm-hmm. Man, because that's crazy too, right? Like, it started off with just a conversation with us. Yeah. And then Asia. And it was Ariel first. Was it Ariel first? Yeah. Because Ariel and I think I've said this before, like once upon a time we were going to do a podcast together. And she has since then decided that she does not want to be that visible in life. Which is why she refuses to let me show her on camera. Yes. And so, but she was like, whenever you're ready, like, I'm going to help you. I'll be here. Like, I'll help you. Wow. And so I was like, okay, Ariel, it's your time to shine, girl. And then I had talked to Asia about it, like, just when it was a little tiny baby idea. Like a little idea. Back. And she randomly, she didn't know that me and you had talked and that we had decided that we were doing this. And she sent me a voice memo and she was like, sis, God told me, like, whenever you're ready to do this podcast, like, I want to produce it. Like, I'm going to do all of the visuals and everything for it. And like, it was just so much confirmation. That feels like so long ago. It does, right? That was just this summer. I know. That was literally just this summer. But we've spent so much time together and we've grown so much. Like, we do this every week, y'all. I feel like I'm not even that same person when we first started. No, you're not. I think I've changed even in the last 2 weeks. You have. Look, Asia like, hell yeah. No, this is a different Iyanna that we have here right now than like the last episode that we recorded. Crazy. And it just warms my heart so much because, like, I know in my heart what you deserve. And I just feel so
full, knowing that you are starting to see what that worth looks like, what that value looks like, and being able to walk proudly into it. Like, that just makes me so happy for you.
Thanks.
Because you so deserve it. The entire world, like the whole world, and then some. The galaxy.
Not the whole galaxy.
The galaxy.
Well, if I get a galaxy, you get a galaxy too.
Okay, we galaxy sisters.
Why are we like this? Why? Guardians of the... I
don't want to fight no aliens, though. I'm going to be like, we come in peace.
Hey, I'll fight some aliens.
I don't want to fight them.
Look, me and Ariel be out here with our swords and shit. What's up?
Honestly.
What's up?
I've heard...
Both of y'all be hiding behind us.
There's a TV show that has confirmation that the aliens built the Earth, so...
Built the Earth? Because they're probably in the core or in the ocean.
They've been around longer than us, and they're watching us, and they're like dumb humans.
I'm so dead.
They're about to kill themselves. Look at the pollution.
Wait,
they're going to die, and we're going to have to save them.
I love that we mentioned God and aliens all in the same episode. I love that for us. Like, what? God created all things.
He created all things. And they were all created in his image and his likeness. So we're going to hope that we get the godly aliens to come and save us and not them other ones.
I'm so dead. So I've had this idea. Within the last couple of weeks, as you mentioned, like I have grown a lot. And I realized that one thing that I suffer from that's affected my perspective and my viewpoint, well, the same thing, on life is that I am self-deprecating quite a bit and that I just speak very negatively about things. And even though I may not feel necessarily that way, but the fact that I keep putting life or death really into certain things, that it's affected me, even how I view myself. So I'm having this idea that each podcast we say affirmations and our lovely community out there can say them with us.
Yes.
So I will... Ooh, what do I want to say? I'll make it short this time, and next time I'll be more prepared. But for now, everybody repeat after me. Ooh. Yes, you too, Ariel. I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I am sought after.
I am sought after.
I am favored.
I am favored. Highly favored.
Highly favored. Hello.
Highly flavored.
Shoot, flavor too.
That too.
I am blessed.
I am blessed.
All right, that's all I got.
I love that. Thank you, Iyanna.
I just had a random taste for Fruity Pebbles. I don't know why.
I just have one affirmation.
Okay.
But it is, I am worthy of taking up space.
Oh, of taking up space. Podcasts or not, guys, you guys take up space too.
In whatever space you're called to take up. Take up that space.
It may not be podcasting. It may not even be sharing your details of your marriage on social media. But you know what?
Honestly, if you're not called to it, don't do it.
You have a path, my boo.
This may not be it.
All right, guys. Well, this was a beautiful episode.
I'm so happy. I pitched this purpose episode at the very beginning. Iyanna was like, I'm not ready. And I feel like it happened at the perfect time. So I am just so happy that we did this. I love you.
I love you.
Okay, we got to go before we cry again. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Fill in the Blank podcast. Thank you so much for all of you all's support, all of the follows, all of the new subscribers, all of the new listeners, just in general. We are so grateful from the bottom of our hearts, and we love each and every one of you. You can follow us at fillintheblank_ on Instagram. On YouTube, we are Fill in the Blank podcast. And remember, that's FEEL for Phil. And you can follow me on Instagram at astoldby.kayla.
You forgot TikTok.
Oh, and we're also on TikTok now too. What's that?
At Fill in the Blank.
Fill in the Blank pod.
Fill in the bank. Shoot. Fill in that bank.
Fill in that too.
Fill it in. And then you can follow me at Iyanna.amor.
That's all we got for you all. Please comment. Folks. Let us know your thoughts. Share your affirmations and what you're claiming in this season of your life. We love you all. Bye.
Bye.